and welcome back to another video. It is a sitting down video today, but I'm at the stables. The sun's out for once in what is beginning to be British winter. Not looking forward to it. And today we are doing Equestrian Would You Rather, and I asked my Instagram to send in lots of Would You Rather questions, and I've selected quite a fair few, so it might be a decent length video today, hopefully. So yeah, let's get into the first question. Okay, so the first one is, would you rather compete in individuals or pairs? Now, this one's a tough one because in individuals it's nice to be able to do it on your own, and if you do make any mistakes, you know, you're not letting anyone down. So that's good about individuals, but I also like riding in pairs because I like the teamwork and the fun of being able to ride with someone in the changeovers. But I have said this before, probably not to you guys, but my favourite thing to do is actually pairs. So I would rather compete in pairs. Would you rather ride bareback on Strawberry or Rocket? Well, I've done both of these things, and I actually do prefer to ride Rocket bareback, only because he's actually a little bit more sane than Strawberry. I tried doing walk and trot on Strawbs, and that was great. She actually was really good. But as soon as I hit canter, you know, she was just absolutely bombing around the school, and I was just sitting there holding on for dear life. But I did manage to stop her, and I was like, you know what? Never again until she's calmed down in her canter. So the answer is Rocket. Would you rather do show jumping or dressage? Well, I do quite like both, and I've competed in both in the past, but I 100% think show jumping is a bit more fun, and I think I'd rather do show jumping than dressage, only because I'm just not a big fan of dressage when with the judging side. You know, it's actually not based on a certain thing, it's like judged or someone's preference. So I have a Welsh A, but the judge doesn't like Welsh A's, they won't score me high, whereas like show jumping, if you knock a pole down, you knock a pole down. So I'd rather do show jumping. This one's good. Would you rather eat a Lick-It treat bar or a stud muffin? Well, I'm just thinking on the basis that Lick-Its actually come in different flavours, and stud muffin, they're like pure molasses, so I don't think that would taste very nice. So if you get me a good flavour Lick-It treat bar, maybe like apple or cherry, I think I would prefer the Lick-It bar, to be honest. Would you rather have a mare or gelding? Now, my personal preference is geldings, only because like they're just so much more like chilled, relaxed, sedate, and quite easy to like ride and train, whereas mares do tend to be more temperamental, and you have to more negotiate with a mare. But in Strawberry's defense, she's actually a really good mare. Like, she's not grumpy, she's not moody, she's probably the most cuddliest thing. You know, Rocket is actually more grumpy than Strawberry, and the same with Daisy. Actually, she's amazing, super cuddly, not grumpy. Only with other ponies when ridden she pulls a funny face. But yeah, I would personally buy a gelding over a mare. Would you rather ride in the rain or when it's boiling hot? Now, I experienced this yesterday, riding in the rain, and it is just not for me, especially if it's torrential. So I personally would rather ride when it's boiling hot, because afterwards you can then give them an absolute massive cold bath, and I think that is probably one of the nicest things you can do, because it's so hard to warm up after you've been in the pouring rain all day and everything's wet, all your clothes, your tack, and you have to clean it all. So I'd rather ride in the boiling heat and give them a massive cold bath. Would you rather ride with a saddle or bareback? Now, because I have such little ponies, they're so bouncy, riding bareback, so I think I'd personally rather ride in a saddle, because I can balance a lot more easier, rather than bareback. Bareback is just too bouncy, especially Rocket and Trot. Jesus Christ, that really hurts my bum. Never ride your horse again or never see them again. Now, personally, I think I'd rather never ride again, because my ponies have a special place in my heart. So I've had Rocket, you know, my whole life, and you know, Strawberry and Vinny have always had a special place in there too. So I think it'd be best, you know, to never ride them again, because you can still do fun things without riding, you know, grooming and, you know, just fussing them. I like all of that stuff just as much as the riding. So yeah, never ride them again. Would you rather ride in an indoor arena or an outdoor arena? Now this totally depends on the weather, because obviously if it's raining I'd rather go indoor, and if it's nice I'd rather go outdoor. But I think in a whole like justice of outdoor and indoor arenas, if you can get a nice big indoor arena, I probably would prefer that. But a lot of outdoor arenas I like as well, like David Broom's and what's the other one I really like, Dallas Burston. They're all outdoor arenas and they're really nice, but if you can get a nice big indoor arena, I'd probably go with that. Would you rather overvolt or fall from picking something up from the floor? That's a difficult one, because I know I've overvolted many times, but I don't know if I've actually fallen off whilst trying to scoop something up. I think just from the physical side of it, I would rather fall off trying to pick something up from the floor, because you're on a turn, you know, all you're literally going to do is roll on the floor and you stay there. Whereas an overvolt, you're probably going at like God knows how many miles an hour vaulting, you know, and you're going to literally just hit the floor at some pace and speed, and that could be a lot more painful and more prone to injuring yourself. So I think I'd rather fall off from picking something from the floor. Always ride in a dress or always ride in a SpongeBob costume? I know what I would pick, but I feel like my ponies would completely disagree with me on that one. So I personally would rather ride in a SpongeBob costume, because I think that'd be jokes. But for the sake of my ponies, I'm gonna say always ride in a dress, because that would be less frightening for them. Would you rather win a pairs competition or an individual competition? Now, this is a bit different than the other question, only because this is like, what would you rather win? There's good sides to both. Now, because if you're in a pair and you're riding, say, with your best friend, you know, it really feels good to be able to win like with your best friend. But for yourself, I think I'd actually rather win an individual competition, because if so, like say if it's on strawberry, you know, as a pony I've trained myself, you know, and we've gone out and won an individuals competition together, I just feel like it would be such a good achievement for both of us, like me and the pony. So I think that would be a much greater achievement, even though winning with your best friend or someone who you're really good friends with in pairs, you know, that would probably be a really insane feeling as well, as I experienced yesterday. So yeah. Never do hoopla again or never do bank race again. Now this is so easy, never do bank race ever again, because with Rocket, he doesn't want to go near it. You know, he does sometimes, but it's very unpredictable if he is or not. And hoopla is my favourite race, so I am always down to do hoopla, and bank can just get in the bin. Have all your keepers undone or have the forelock under the brow band? Oh my god, don't. This is proper triggering for any equestrian, I'd say. I don't think I could leave my straps hanging out of the keepers, so I think I'd rather leave the forelock under the brow band, because I would hate to see all my straps just going everywhere as I'm riding. And you know, you leave them under the brow band when you put a fly veil on, so maybe I could cheat that way, so it doesn't, you can't actually see it. But yeah, I'd rather leave the forelock under the brow band. Always fall off in a competition or never do MGA again? That's an easy one, because obviously I'm always going to do MGA, so I'd rather always fall off at a competition, because I kid you not, every MGA show you go to, you'll always find someone that's fallen off, no matter what. Like, I don't think you'll ever go an MGA show without someone hitting the deck at some point. Would you rather fill up hay nets or muck out the stables? Very easy. Hay nets is my least favourite job, only because, you know, the hay gets everywhere. You can't get the hay nets apart, trying to get all the hay in. It's just a mess. I hate doing the hay nets. It's much more satisfying to pick up the poos and tidy up the beds. I absolutely love that. So I'd rather muck out, because hay is too complicated, and don't even get me started on soaking them, because I have to soak all of my hay nets and it is just, don't like it. Would you rather have your horses shod or barefoot? This is difficult, because Rocket and Vinny are shod on the front and Strawberry's barefoot, and actually Daisy's barefoot as well. I think it just solely depends on the pony. I'd rather it be barefoot because it's cheaper and I don't have to break into my bank account, But having them shod maybe on the front it's really nice because you can get them off the stones, because my ponies just really hate walking on stones barefoot, especially Strawberry. So I think I'd rather have them shod just on the front, just to protect their feet from like the stones, because also Rocket is really flat-footed on the front, so if he didn't have his front shoes on he'd be lame. So in that sense it just depends on the pony, but my personal preference is probably shod on the front, barefoot on behind. Would you rather have all of your rugs ripped or saddle pads ripped? That is a horrible question, because rugs are really expensive, so for them to be ripped, you know, it's so expensive to buy new ones. But having ripped saddle pads on when you're riding or even in a competition, I just couldn't have that either. So I think for like presentation reasons, I think I'd rather have my rugs ripped, because all they're doing is going out in the field or staying in the stable, whereas like when you're riding in saddle pads, you know, you're out competing, everyone sees you. So I think I'd rather have my rugs ripped. Get bucked with or reared up with? I've sat both, and I personally think being reared up with is really scary, because I've fallen off a rear because like they've gone up vertical, like kid you not, that straight up, you know, you just slide out the back, fall off, like, but it's not a bad fall off if you get reared up with, because you're literally stationary. But a buck can be moving and it can send you flying. But I personally would rather sit a buck than sit a rear, because rears are so scary when they actually happen to you. But I think to fall off with, I'd rather fall off a rear, because it could be less injury. And also with rearing, you know, if they rear up so far they could fall over with you. So I think I'd actually rather sit a buck than a rear. Would you rather never ride again or only do mounted games on a cow? Interesting question. I personally think trying to do mounted games on a cow would be actually very entertaining, and I would love to either see myself do that or any of my friends at MGA. So I just think for the banter, I would rather ride a cow doing mounted games. That would be good content as well. Like, imagine seeing that appear on my TikTok one day, me trying to vault on a blooming cow. Would you rather never have to tack clean again or never have to muck out again? Well, you see, I personally find tack cleaning, like, finding it hard to get the motivation to do, whereas like mucking out, it is like part of the daily routine, whereas tack cleaning is only really after you ride or after you compete or before you compete. But it depends, like, is someone going to do it for me? Is that why I'm not doing it, or is it just going to get left for ages? Because, you know, that could change the question. But I think I'd rather never tack clean again, because, you know, I'd rather not let the stables get built up with poo. You know, that's disgusting. You know, tack can survive, but it just gets really crusty and horrible. Like, that's a horrible question. Yeah, never have to tack clean again. So that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to do another one of this soon. Oh my god, it is starting to rain. I'm just going to quickly move my camera. Okay, I just had to move my camera back because it started to rain into Rocket Stable. So that is the end of this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. This is something a bit different. I hope to do stuff like this in future, especially over the winter, when, you know, the weather is not going to be in my favour to do riding videos or any sort of mounted games challenges when I can't ride. So I'll probably do another one of these soon. Would you rather? I'll get another sticker up my story, and you guys can ask me some even more funnier ones maybe, because there were some good ones in there today that actually made me laugh. So maybe we'll do this again very soon. So like, comment and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.
Yeah. Like the attention, girl, I know you, but you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like